We're back.
Oh yeah.
They
Oh yeah.
they gave
It's
they gave us the mics back. Didn't take them away. Didn't take away. Kinks should be mostly worked out. Production is not yet standard, but as you were saying, this isn't 100% professional operation. We like to think of
no,
ourselves as professional, but eh.
professional is not the right term to call us. That's for sure.
So today on the docket, we're gonna cover obviously the game that's happened in 2 weeks, the Super Bowl, plus the
Hmm.
last two rounds of the playoffs.
Mhm.
The coaching vacancies and hires that have happened. Recap a little bit about the national championship, and jump into some of the crazy Hall of Fame and whatnot that's been going on the last 2 weeks. So, Mr. Foot, where shall we start today? Where do you want to hit?
Let's jump right into the mashed potatoes here of head coaching,
Okay.
especially news today. Uh, Cleveland Browns hire Todd Monken, the head coach, former Ravens offensive coordinator. Uh, and then good old Jim Schwartz, defensive coordinator, says, "Oh, a nice big middle finger. I'm out of here. See you later."
Bye. Which honestly, for what I've read and seen makes sense, right? Because you had a whole bunch of candidates dropping out of the head coaching race. Like Mike McDaniels dropped out to take an offensive coordinator job. Now, am I going to say the Chargers OC job isn't equivalent to being the head coach of the Cleveland Browns? Probably it is. Just the talent on that offense alone, but but you look at that and say a whole bunch of people dropping out, and then there was reports that the contention was between Jim Schwartz and the OC of the Jaguars. Hold on, which is Grant Udinsky. He was supposedly the head top candidate, and then the Jaguars went. They just backed up the money truck to his front door and said, "Here's a new car." And so he chose to resign. And then, obviously this morning, she just recapped, fucking Todd Monken got the head coaching job.
Yeah.
That leaves, two head coaching spots open, but we'll get to that in a second. But, as the Browns fan, does that move the needle for you, or would you rather have your defensive guy?
I understand what they're trying to do. Defense is kind of set in stone with the talent. Um, and that's what Jim Schwartz was meant to do. He's supposed to rein it in because, dude, I'm brain farting on the guy before him. I just remember just like being so angry at him. He brought in Andrew Sandejo for a year. That really not sit well with me. Um, but yeah, dude, offensive coordinator, Ravens, like obviously run heavy. But now here's the thing. But before today and the signing, I was going to come in today with like why no one wants to come to Cleveland. It's because of the offense. You just lost your rookie star running back to a dislocated ankle injury, like late into the season. So he won't be back at all next year, what I'm assuming.
Mm.
Um, you have you're gonna basically have a quarterback carousel with Shador Sanders,
Pro Bowler Shooter Sanders. Let's
Pro Bowler Shador
we're gonna
Sanders,
get into that in a second because that is the fakest Pro Bowl not ever.
I Pro Bowl Shador Sanders, Deshaun Watson, unfortunately, and if they do try to go for a QB in this draft, then whoever that will be, that'll be the rotation because Dylan Gabriel's not competing at all. He can't complete a pass further than 5 yards down the
Oh,
field.
Dylan Gabriel's
But
going down.
there's no talent on the offense, and the defense is stacked. That's the only thing. But you can't try to sell half the car to somebody because they don't, like, you know what I mean? You can't sell half a car to somebody. Like, it's basically what I'm trying to say. Like, that's half a football team. You have one really good side of the ball, and then the other side of the ball is absolutely lackluster in everything. Maybe besides in Harold Fanning, that's really it.
You can't really, like you said, you can't really sell, half a car, but you look at that offense and it almost made sense that they should have brought in Jim Schwartz. Just bring in a defensive. That's what's the good part of the car. That's what runs. That's what moves.
Hmm.
You kind of do
Basically, the engine of the whole vehicle is
exactly
your defense.
You do the reverse of what a lot of these teams are doing, which is bring an offensive head coach who calls the plays, and then they'll find a defensive coordinator.
I do understand why they brought him in, though. I completely understand.
They need
why.
the offense working, but you have nothing.
Exactly.
You have nothing to work for. I mean, this offseason, you're $23 million over the cap. Now, obviously, that can be worked out. You'll probably have to cut some people, cap casualties and whatnot.
Wyatt Teller's gone, 100%.
Exactly.
He's going to be out of here. Jack Conklin should be out of here.
Now,
but they're not going to move those guys. But
No.
their offensive line is so old. And Joe Bitonio's the oldest. He's the best guy on the offensive line, obviously. I'm shocked he's not a Pro Bowler again. Like, there's nothing to work with the offense right now besides, like I said, Harold Fanning and the fact that Quinshon Judkins is Quinshon Judkins, and he will be back.
Yeah, he'll be back. But it's even with that and like the fact that you don't have an offense. Now there's the good side. If you do have two first round picks, and luckily enough, we touched on a little bit last year, Andrew Berry, the Browns GM, can draft. We've seen he can draft.
Yes,
just look at
especially this last season.
Like,
this last draft class was an absolute.
You got a stud tight end. You got a stud tight end. You got two, I would say, good running backs. A stud one in the making in Judkins if his health pans out, and Sampson could be a lead back for 4 or 5 games, and he'll fill in nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, and then
Mason Graham, Carson Schweissinger,
right? Yeah, you basically got the defensive rookie of the year. And Carson Schweissinger, it's between him and Imanwari, but Schweissinger was just so much better.
Oh, dude, absolutely insane this year.
But so you have the pieces, and you also have 2 first-round picks from Travis Hunter trade.
Mm-hmm.
But this class, since Dante Moore decided to go back to school, there's one distinctive quarterback. So do you roll the dice with Shedeur again and say, if he pans out, he pans out. We have a
or
5th round
or
pick,
or I'll add on here. Do you just work with what you have with Deshaun and Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel? Or do you take a shot in the dark with one of these rookie quarterbacks in the draft this year?
Right. I mean, you're picking at, was it 5? You're picking at 5. And so you'll either get a pick of either the second best tackle or the second best wide receiver, assuming Tennessee goes,
they're definitely going receiver.
Wide receiver. And so then your 20th pick, the second first round pick, which is in the back half, it's what, 25?
Yeah, 25, 24.
It's, you have, you're 24. There's not a guarantee you get, the next quarterback up, which is Ty Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
And, he didn't look great.
No.
Last half of the season.
No.
He had flashes in the beginning, but the Browns aren't necessarily in a position where they can take a flyer on a young quarterback either in the early first or second half of the first and sit him, because then you're sitting him behind Shedeur
and Deshaun Watson,
which I fully 100% believe and want them to and push them to get rid of Deshaun, whether that's eat the money, figure out how to restructure him to get a void year, cut him, trade him, do
the Madden move, trade him to the Jets.
Trade him to the Jets. Rounder. They need someone. Aaron Glenn will probably figure him out.
No, but I understand. I understand why. Like, if they don't go quarterback, you bring an offensive-minded head coach. You develop Shedeur Sanders if that's the move you're going for, or you're waiting for next season. But let's say Shedeur looks better next season. They get left tackle, wide receiver in the first round, right?
Yeah. Well,
let's say they do that, and they have Jerry Jeudy, who'd be a good number 2, Harold Fanning, Dylan Sampson, whoever they draft for wide receiver, Cardinal Tate, whoever they want.
Cardinal Tate, or it actually might be Jordan Tyson, but
or Jordan Tyson, one of those two.
Yeah.
and you get a left tackle, and you either put that on the right tackle, left tackle, you have a decent looking offense there. Not like, oh, we're gonna be fucking shitting our bricks over it. Like like the defensive coordinator's gonna be like, well, this has obvious like glaring holes in it. But like, if that's what they're going to do, then I don't really have a problem with it. But the problem is that Jim Schwartz just
left.
Literally go.
He did and pieced out. Like
no, literally. And so that's going to be another issue. And now they have another spot to fill in on for the head coach, for the coaching staff.
Technically, Schwartz is still under contract with the Browns. Technically. And so unless they actively fire him, which I think Munkin kind of has to do by now, because unless he can sit down with Schwartz and goes, hey, come back coach here. You know, they do the Gerard Mayo thing. Where like the reason Gerard Mayo was the head coach of the Patriots is because Kraft put in his contract where you're the next guy when Bill retires, because they would have hired Vrabel that year. But you do that, you go, hey, when I'm done, because I don't think Monken's lasting more than 2 years here.
No,
and when we talk about the other hirings in this head coaching cycle, that I'll get to that point later. But like you could easily do that, but I think Schwartz kind of looked at it and said, well, this was your opportunity. You know, to hire me, I basically get to bypass 1 year because my defense is going to backpack us again. But unless Munkin can work something out, he needs to find his own defensive coordinator. And who is that? Like, there isn't like a guy that you think of as the name of like who could be a pretty nice coordinator, and obviously that's with what coordinators are. But back to like the draft theory for the Browns for a little, just to touch on it again for a little bit.
Yeah.
I think you have to go tackle early. That has to be the fifth pick, which is a problem because there's a big drop off after those first three wide receivers, but you have to, because this isn't a great tackle class.
No,
you know, you got Francis Mount from Miami, who looked like a stud in the national championship game. And you have the two kids from Utah, and Fano's the better one. But who's just like, you're picking at 5, so you have to go tackle early if you want to fix that, unless you find someone in free agency. But I think I agree with the plan should not be to take a quarterback in the first round. Take a guy.
Absolutely not. I don't even think going QB this year is going to fix anything, because the QB class, especially now that Dante Moore's gone.
Yeah. Like this year,
it's off tremendously. And then when you look at next year, you have names like Arch Manning, Dante Moore,
Julian Sayin, Arch Manning. You got Lenore Sellers from South Carolina, down year this year, but has some traits. You got Patrick Mahomes Jr. and Dylan Raiola. But
he's
Arizona
also going to be
State
sitting
guy.
behind. He's going to be sitting behind.
No, apparently he re-entered the transfer portal.
News to me.
Yeah, but like, because why wouldn't you if you're going to be
Indiana
eligible?
I'm joking.
No. Indiana's got their own good. But then you also have like John Mateer in there. Like, there's some decent names, but it's almost as if in like the second round they take a flyer on like the kid from Ole Miss if he decides not to go back, or they take a shot at, you know.
Well, he can't, Chris. They
Drew Allen
denied him a 5th year.
Well, no, but he's suing. They denied him in the end. He sued the NCAA saying, I want my 6th year. Which again, now that Dante Moore went back in, why? You immediately jump up. We watched you in the college football playoffs.
Dude, you were balling.
Look, why not enter into the draft?
There's a team out there that he will fit the scheme of. He will fit the scheme of a team out there that's set fit for a quarterback. Like
the Raiders. You sit him behind Geno. Yeah, Geno's bad. Well, the Raiders are,
but they're not. They're gonna go for Mendoza,
or the Jets. Like the Jets don't.
That's if they could retain Breece Hall. That's only if they could retain him, and I really don't think they're going to be able to.
Yeah, but the Brown situation, I wonder what they're going to do with Jim Schwartz and what coordinators Monk is going to bring in, and then it comes down to how they're going to approach the draft and free agency. But it brings us to our broader topic of just the head coaching carousel this year. Want to
get into the Titans?
Well, in a minute, but there's only two spots open left. That's the Raiders and that's the Cardinals. Because the Titans
spots right now, but broader spot. right now, in my opinion, is probably Las Vegas.
You have the number one overall pick. I think, yeah, you
Ashton
have some work
Genty,
to do,
Brock
but
Bowers.
the only reason that team sucked is because Chip Kelly can't coach. I don't think it was Pete Carroll's fault. I think it was literally Chip Kelly looked at all the pieces he had and just went, nah.
Eagles, Chip Kelly, the dude who fumbled one of the best rosters on paper back in 2010. That Chip Kelly, he should stick to college ball like he was doing with USC, like 4 to 5 years ago,
Exactly. Like
or
just
something like that.
no.
It's probably a little bit longer now. Now that I think about it, it's 2026. Oh my gosh.
But this comes off the backpack because there's two teams I think we should 100% talk about. You mentioned them, the Titans, and then we have to talk about just the stupidity that is Buffalo. But like the absolute dumbassery that is the Buffalo Bills. But let's hit the Titans first because the Bills. Oh, I have some things to say. So the Titans hired. They hired
honestly, if
Robert
we want,
Saleh,
we could also sneak the Giants in. Honestly,
yeah. Well, the Giants got interesting because now they don't have Todd Monken as their OC. That was who there's going to be their OC. But so the Titans hired Robert Saleh and Brian Daboll.
I think Brian Daboll for the offensive coordinator signing is really good. I think it's really good because the Titans just lost their defensive coordinator because now he's with the Giants. That's why I want to talk about it. Then that's why they brought in Robert Saleh, so he could kind of hone in the defense still. And I think Robert Saleh is a really good defensive coordinator. Obviously, we see that at San Fran every time.
He can do a lot
coach a defense.
Little. And the only reason he failed at New York Jets is purely Aaron Rodgers.
It's the Jets.
That I blame his entire thing on Aaron Rodgers, which was we signed Aaron Rodgers, popped his Achilles. Well, I'm stuck with Zach Wilson. Still went 7-10.
I still wanted Zach Wilson to do good.
And then he came back with Aaron again going, great, we're healthy. And Aaron Rodgers went, I hate you.
I hate
you. Give me my guys. I'm like, Aaron, what?
Then they did. They brought in Randall Cobb. But yes, Brian Daboll, I feel like they brought him in because obviously their offense needs work. I think Tony Pollard, if you could get the offensive line and wide receiver figured out, because they have, what is the guy? Iamore?
Elick Isle-Manor?
Yeah, Io Manor, whatever his name is. I'm terrible at these names, dude. But you get another receiver next to him, like Jordan Tyson or Cardinal Tate, like, oh my gosh. And then you also have Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard in your backfield. If if you could hone in your backfield and have like Cam Ward do like RPO, play action, and whatnot, like your offense could be pretty lethal, especially if Jordan Tyson or Cardinal Tate pan out well on your offense, and you have a pretty decent tight end.
I think with them hiring Robert Saleh is going to be interesting for who they take because everyone's like, oh, they need a wide receiver. Yeah, but I think Robert Saleh might just go, I'm taking the defender. Screw you guys. Like, because there is
that is also not a crazy thing.
They're in line to get the
corners are looking this year because I know they're lacking at corner.
Oh no, the guy they're probably going to take is the kid from Ohio State, Arvell Reese. Because unless Ruben Bain falls, then you take Ruben Bain and put him next to Jeffrey Simmons. But Daboll, I think will get that offense working and can play to Cam Ward's strengths, which is RPOs and just getting him moving because he's really good when he's outside the pocket. And Tony Pollard, I think it might be time to cut.
He also has a really nice arm. I will say Cam Ward has probably one of the better arms.
I've seen it thrown. It's smooth, but I think it might be time to cut bait with Tony Pollard, and maybe look to get a guy in this class, or
you can move with Tajay Spears, and I don't think that's wrong because he's compact. He's built like a traditional running back, and he has the speed and the power behind it.
Well, yeah, because Pollard is I like Spears, and Pollard is set to have a $9 million cap hit. But if you cut him, all they do is just take $2 million onto their dead cap and save $7 million. So they gain $7 million by cutting what is almost a 30-year-old quarterback. And looking at the running backs in this class.
Not getting Jeremiah Love. There's no way.
Oh, no. Jeremiah Love has Chiefs.
Where do Vikings and Chiefs fall?
So I think
because those are the two teams. I think
they're right there. I believe. Oh no, it goes Chiefs. Then I think they're right there. Give me a second. Hold on. I have the draft order pulled up. So it's Chiefs at 9, Vikings at 18 because all they did was win.
Right, 89.
Like I think the Vikings could easily. I think Jeremiah Love could easily fall to 18 purely because you don't draft running backs that high. Yes, we saw Genty go at 5, but then because the Raiders went, we're going to draft Genty.
What do you
but
think New York goes? What do you think New York goes this year? Line?
The Jets or the Giants?
The Giants.
If there's an offensive lineman, I think they go line. If not, I think
they go tackle.
Yeah, I think they go tackle.
Play
They got to
right
put
side.
someone opposite Andrew Thomas. But if they don't, I could see them going receiver. Like I could see them taking.
If they don't re-sign Wandale, yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, I could see them saying, "Well, Neighbors tore his ACL. Let's go get a guy." Tyson,
and he won't be back till almost halfway through the season.
They are a sleeper to get Caleb Downs because they need safety help to pair next to Javon Holland. You just put basically the best player in this draft class. But like to the Jeremiah Love point, like the Titans could do that at 4.
They could, and that
wouldn't be crazy. It wouldn't be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But like it would be one of those moves that happen every draft where you're sitting there going, why? And then it works out. Like it wouldn't be crazy to be like, let's go get Cam Ward, a running back, and we can deal with because there's going to be some decent wide receivers in this free agency class because Wandale Robinson could become a free agent. I think there's going to be a couple big name wide receivers on the move. Just from a pure trade, like AJ Brown, you could easily go, let's go get AJ Brown.
You think T. Higgins is? Did they sign T. Higgins or is he staying?
They signed him to a long-term deal, but I think that could easily get blown up if Burrow goes, I want out,
and it goes Minnesota,
right?
Because that's like in my head,
that's where he's going if he wants out. Yeah.
If Minnesota's offensive line can stay healthy and Jordan Mason can at least get 4 yards every carry, and Jordan Addison can stay out of trouble.
Out of the courts.
You have Trey Hendrick, not Trey, tight end.
Oh, TJ Hawkinson.
Thank you. Wrong age. Hawkinson, Jettas, Addison. It's a really good offense. You get Joe Burrow, absolute air raid. Would be absolutely insane, and that defense is going to be still pretty good no matter what.
But
even if Harrison Smith does retire,
cycling back to the Titans, I think I like the hiring of Saleh. I think he was a really good head coach. I think the issue in New York was, 1, it was the Jets, and 2, it was Aaron Rodgers. I think Saleh was like,
they're trying to do the Tom Brady thing
with what I had, and I like the Dable signing. I think he'll be, good for
better as an offensive coordinator.
Cam Ward, yeah. And now I think that could though be interesting because I think Dable could easily be a 1-year coordinator who's just looking to get back to a head coaching position. And so he could just, he could leave and that could screw with the system. But on that same line of coaching hires and hiring coordinators, the Buffalo Bills might be the dumbest franchise I've ever seen. And I've seen the New York Jets. So at the end of their loss,
this is why they lost 4 Super Bowls.
So at the end of they basically were handed, the platter for their playoff run. No Mahomes, no Burrow, no Lamar. Like
you can't even.
Allen's demons.
I'm gonna say it now while I can. It's no Mahomes or Burrow because Lamar
Josh Allen,
is a playoff flop.
His typical demons were not there, and I don't. As much as Josh Allen didn't play terribly in that divisional round, he didn't play good either. He had 4 turnovers. Like 2 of them were his fault, and 2 of them were just that. Like the last interception on Brandon Cooks. That's Josh Allen. That's not
what is a catch.
What is a catch? That's a philosophical question. Again. That's just something you cannot right? But
what is this? That's Bryant, dude. Come on, NFL.
I'm gonna go with he caught it because Brandon Cooks was the one who came down when it hit the ground close to his chest, and then the Broncos defender just rolled over and ripped it.
You can't just rip the ball away and be like, "Oh, I have it. It's a turnover."
I have it. Give me that. But So Josh Allen played terribly, but so the reason they fired McDermott is not because of
You
the
can't get
poor
it
showing
done.
in the
It's
playoffs.
because
It's so the owner walked through the locker room after they lost and went, Josh Allen's crying. Fire the head coach. Not Josh Allen's crying because he just played one of his worst games of his career. And he's sad because he let his team down with 4 turnovers. Like the owner went, time
hold
for a
on.
change of ice. And then promoted the guy who fucked up the roster.
This is like actually hurting my brain. This is like if Robert Kraft just fired Bill Belichick after the 2019 season, got Brady back, and then just made Mike McDaniels the head coach.
And we're gonna promote Elliot Wolf to
Offense.
head of football operations. He's in charge of everything. Yeah, he was the one who didn't sign anyone, didn't pull a trade, wasn't willing to give up a 2026 28th overall pick for Jalen Waddle to bring in a better receiver. Yeah, not a big receiver, but a better receiver. And we're gonna
One of the faster ones too.
Like,
but you also need the quarterback to reach him. You know what I mean?
Well, Josh Allen has one of the strongest arms in the league, but they fired Sean McDermott purely because Josh Allen was crying for Josh Allen's performance and went, Sean McDermott's not the guy. Promoted Brandon Beane, who screws up the roster. And then the owner looks and goes, Keon Coleman was a coaching decision, not the GM. And then we can literally find a clip where Brandon Beane goes, God, I hope someone lets Keon Coleman drop because that's our guy. I'm glad he ran that because he's going to fall to us. And then traded away Xavier Worthy. And he's what? And so the owner basically went, yeah, Sean McDermott drafted Keon Coleman. That's why Keon Coleman sucks.
I vividly remember saying when the Bills traded back with the Chiefs.
Never trade back with
the
Chiefs.
The Chiefs are taking Xavier Worthy. They just lost their best receiver option in the draft. And they did. Because Keon Coleman sucks. He couldn't catch a cold standing butt naked in Antarctica. Butt naked.
Do I think he could easily be, could he be good somewhere in a decent system? He's a jump ball receiver. He's a red zone threat. That's what he was in college. That's what he was at Michigan State and Florida State. He's not an X.
Well, you just said the problem. You just said Michigan State.
Well, yeah, they don't. But he went to Florida State. But he was an X receiver. Why do you expect him to be a superstar? But so the owner goes, yeah, it was a coaching decision. But the one question was brought up for Nick Wright, someone I tend to follow, and Nick Wright was like, Sean McDermott was a defensive head coach. Who has the most input in the offense? Your defensive head coach is controlling your offense. The guy who's best known for the 2015 Carolina Panthers defense. He's an offensive head coach. Why is he making personnel decisions in the offense? You know who probably wanted Keon Coleman? Their new head coach, Joe Brady. It's just it's baffling because the owner's throwing their number one. I
don't understand why they traded back with the Chiefs if they wanted Keon
Brandon
anyways.
Beane's an idiot. Because Brandon Beane's an idiot, and he wanted he traded away Patrick Mahomes.
I'm saying it right. I'm going to say it right now. I'm saying it right now. Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs and James Cook now are the only reason why the Buffalo Bills are a playoff team. The only reason. And Sean McDermott's defense. That is it. And that is literally the only reason why. GM sucks, obviously. If the Browns weren't totally, slow, to put it in PG-13 terms, they would have went Josh Allen.
They would have. Now,
Josh Allen, Lamar, all on the table there.
And Sam Darnold.
I love Baker Mayfield.
Super Bowl.
I love Baker Mayfield. No. Never fit the scheme in Cleveland.
Nope.
Josh Allen, Lamar would have been a better option, especially with Nick Chubb there. But what do I know? But the Bills, dude. Keon Coleman.
Like, just purely looking off that draft. Now, that receiver class wasn't great. It wasn't. It was a poor, like, Marvin Harrison Jr., meh. Malik Neighbors.
He also has 5'8" Kyler Murray throwing him the ball and Jacoby Brissett throwing him the ball.
So far, Marvin Harrison hasn't been great, but, he's 1,400 receiving yards over 2 years. Malik Neighbors, before the injury, looked like the best receiver in this class.
Him.
Just stud.
He's him.
Then you get to Brian Thomas Jr., I believe he was in this class.
A little hiccup this season. Sophomore slump. We'll give him that. Sophomore slump.
But still a pretty good receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Thomas, yeah. You finally figured out his catching. That's because he wasn't ready to take that leap to being a pure number one. He needed another guy in Jacoby Myers to kind of just take some of the heat off of him.
Especially, and that was supposed to be Travis Hunter, but Travis Hunter got hurt.
And I think Travis Hunter should be played at corner, not at receiver. I just think
they should use him for more wildcats.
Exactly.
At bigger plays, like need deep balls.
And then you look at it, the pick the Bills trade away, Xavier Worthy, probably the second or third best receiver in this class. Just so far. Now he dropped off, but I think that's because he forgot how to use him, which was he's a speed threat. Use him like Tyreek Hill, which is throw him across his middle, try and get a linebacker on him, try and get a safety on him where he can outspeed him. But then after that, you have Ricky Pearsall, who can't stay healthy, Xavier Legette, who doesn't know what he's doing, too busy eating raccoons. Keon Coleman can't catch a ball.
Too busy eating cookies.
Yeah. Lad McConkey looks pretty good. Had a sophomore slump, but out of those,
that's gonna happen. He was also surrounded by a lot of talent.
And then you got Jalen Polk. Who? Then you don't. Next wide receiver, Adonai Mitchell could still be something, but plays for the Jets. So no. So that there's wide receiver, and then you didn't get another wide receiver drafted until you got Malachi Corley, who's on the Browns, who's cut from the Jets because he dropped a pass entering the end zone. This wide receiver class wasn't great, and you still found to pick one of the worst players.
It went Marvin Harrison, Lad, Brian Thomas,
Malik Neighbors in this thing, yeah. I would put Malik over Marvin. I'd go Malik, Marvin, Brian.
Just names.
Oh, names, yeah.
Marvin Harrison, Malik.
Brian Thomas.
Xavier
Worthy. Ricky Pearsall.
Xavier
Legette.
Mm-hmm.
Keon Coleman.
Lad. So I would say you have 5 decent receivers in that draft. With Brian Thomas, Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors, Lad McConkey,
and
Xavier Worthy.
Yeah. And you still somehow found the 6th best. I wouldn't even make him the 6th best receiver.
Because he sucks.
He's not the 6th best receiver. I would honestly, the guy I would take over him, Keon Coleman, is Adonai Mitchell. Because yes, Adonai Mitchell drops passes, but Adonai Mitchell is also quick, tall, and fast. He's fast, tall, and if you just just the Bills just aggravate me so much.
You want a team that doesn't aggravate me?
This is why the Patriots came back to prominence, because 2 of the teams already suck in the Miami Dolphins, and the New York
Dolphins just never got it figured back out again.
Ass. Well, when their quarterback
after that playoff year, they just never figured it back out.
They can't play in cold weather, and that's 90% of the NFL. And then the Bills had it all, had a decent run.
5 years of dominance.
Could never figure out how to draft someone. Your number one receiver should not be a slot receiver. Just period, end of sentence.
This is not 2009.
No, the last good team that number one receiver was a slot receiver was the Patriots, and Julian Edelman wasn't even their best pass catcher. They still had Gronk. Like
Exactly.
yes, he was their number one receiver, but he was the second best pass catcher on his team, and he had the greatest quarterback of all time throwing to him. So like,
Made it look cross-player, look like a number one receiver.
Exactly. They gave Brady his one white boy, and per generation, he got one white boy and cooked. But the Bills just they hired Joe Brady, and that I think that's kind of what will lead the head coaching debates. The Bills are dumb. The Titans
New
are
York Giants.
It's John Harbaugh. I don't like. He doesn't move the needle for me for the Giants. I just think
he does. He does for me.
You need to figure out someone who can handle Jackson Dart, but like,
I feel like when they get Malik back, dude, I feel like that's a team to be like you. So like we talked about last time with the edge rushers, Bill Carter, Brian Burns, and then you have Sexy Dexy in the middle.
Yeah.
Decent secondary. All right, linebackers. Pretty good. You lock in that offense, dude.
They got a solid.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
John Harbaugh could get that locked in. It's not going to be next year, but like next year, it'd be like, okay, so like, why are the Giants like low-key kind of like cooking?
Exactly.
Like it was all like, haha, la la la. This year, the next year, it's like like puberty.
They got motion.
Yeah,
they got motion. But John Harbaugh just doesn't move the needle for me, and that's not because he's a bad coach. I think he's a good head coach. I look at the Giants and I go, they're on paper a good team. Their defense solid. They need to figure out their cornerback 2 spot, but that's it. They get Malik Neighbors back. We'll see if Jackson Dart can make that second leap. They got to figure out running back. Yes, we love Cam Scatterbo, but he's playing at most 3 seasons, then he's done. Like that dude just what? So like he doesn't move the needle for me. I guess I think they'll be the top candidate to be worst to first. For everyone was like, oh, when you make that list of what teams you think could go worst to first, the Giants are at the top of my list because Harbaugh will just be like, okay, great, we're doing this.
Mike McCarthy to the Steelers.
That's bad. That's
have fun with that.
That's just
have fun with that.
I like. That's basically just hiring Mike Tomlin, but white. Like
Jesse Minter. They both have Baltimore.
That's I think probably the best hiring of the cycle is Jesse Minter to Baltimore because that's
Stefanski to Atlanta. Rip. Good luck.
Stefanski. Baker came out and tweeted. Baker's like, bro didn't call me after they dumped me for Deshaun Weinstein. See you twice a year, coach. Oof. And I could see Atlanta winning the division next year, partly because they were a game away from winning it this year. But like, I don't know who their quarterback is. I don't know if you trust I don't know if you trust Penix. Do you keep Cousins and unmobile Cousins in a division where, like,
no,
the Saints have a pretty good pass rush. The Bucs just need to figure out what they're doing with other than Levante David. The Panthers, we don't like to rush the passer. That's just another issue.
You guys just like to blanket the field. We get it.
Our defensive coordinator believes the philosophy of we're going to poison you and watch you die slowly in 50 years instead of actively put the knife in your chest. But that's besides the point. I hope he gets hired by the Raiders because then we get to hire Sean McDermott as our defensive coordinator. I'll be happy. But great. For a year, we're fine. But it's just, Stefanski doesn't entice, this just wasn't a sexy head coaching class. Like, because there wasn't like that name. Like, yes, you got Jesse Minter, but there wasn't like Ben Johnson, who you're like, whatever team he goes to is immediately going to be better. And he went to the best team he probably could have gone to. But you don't have any of those guys because it's like the Steelers retreaded Mike McCarthy. Good idea? Probably not. I think they should have gone Marcus Freeman.
I think the Steelers should just get relegated.
Like, I genuinely
to the NCAA.
They should have just gone with like the guy from Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman and went we'll suck for a year, but then we'll have a top 10 pick and we'll actually select a quarterback and we'll be fine. Like,
Yeah, literally. Like I said, draft class next year, juicy.
juicy. We could probably see 6 to 7 quarterbacks go next year. The amount of quarterback needy teams, like, just you'll have just thinking
Where
purely
the
on
fuck is Stone Raiola gonna go?
he might stay in school. Like because he's a junior, or he will be a junior this upcoming season. But
Like
like,
I meant for college. Where is he
oh,
gonna go?
and the incarnate word where every guy goes apparently. But like, just you think about quarterback needy teams for next year. You got the Vikings. I don't think McCarthy's going to work out. I think he'll be one. He'll be similar. He's on a similar Sam Darnold path where I think he'll bounce around the league, end up with Kyle Shanahan, and then find a team and be stellar. But like he's probably done. The Steelers will need one. The Jets will definitely need one. So that's 3 right there. You know, the Dolphins. That's 4.
Browns.
Browns is 5. Browns make 5. Cardinals make 6. Going based off that, I'm gonna say Rams because I think Stafford comes back for another year and then he's done. I think he wants one more ring, and if they can figure out their cornerback spot, I think they'll win next year. So the Rams make sense. Like there's just 7 teams right there who you could be like they could be in a spot to draft a guy, and then just Falcons makes 8, Saints makes 9 because as much as Shuck balled out, if he tumbles down, the Saints could easily be in a position where they're taking a guy, and you're like, yeah, we got Shuck, but
Taysom Hill.
Like I will. Taysom Hill's like
They still have
40.
Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
You counting out Taysom Hill?
I'm counting on Taysom Hill. Brother tore his ACL and broke his finger. He's done at 36.
The finger was what did it in, not the ACL.
Not the ACL. No, it's the finger. it's just like the amount of quarterback needy teams next year is going to be awesome because you'll get 7 quarterbacks, which means teams who don't need a quarterback will have a better draft than they would originally because they're like, oh, the guys I want are going to fall because 7 spots are going to be filled by quarterbacks. Like, but I think that's what we'll leave the head coach discussion there and go up to move on to the game that's happening in 2 weeks, and the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl
rematch of 2014, Patriots Falcons.
Super Bowl 49.
Right
Super Bowl
now,
49.
Right now, the opening spread is Seattle by 3.5, with ESPN's given Patriots a 40% chance to win, 60% chance for the Seahawks.
The Seahawks.
I think this is the worst of the 2 teams the Patriots could have faced. Right? I think if
They're
they
scary.
The Patriots are a scary team, but like you look at
no.
Seahawks.
No, the Seahawks are scary. They're so good.
They're very scary. But like, I just
Jackson Smith-Njigba, Cooper Kupp, Kenneth Walker, AJ Barner, Sam Darnold, Shaheed the Stampede, and that incredibly insane defense. Holy shit.
The defense is just fast. Everyone on their team is just quick.
Everyone on that defense at least ran track for 4 years of their life.
So here are the names on the defense. You got DeMarcus Lawrence. You got Leonard Williams, right? Byron Murphy II, dog. Ernest Jones, dog. Boye Mafe, dog. Then you get to the secondary, which is probably the highlight. Tariq Woolen, dog when he uses his head. Kobe Bryant, dog. He's named after the GOAT. Nicky Manwari, dog. Julian Love, dog. Devon Witherspoon, dog. Like that secondary.
Dog.
That secondary walks out there and just goes and just starts just taking names and chewing bubblegum. Like their defense is scary, and yet I still think the Patriots will make this game like
I came here to chew names.
A 24-21.
And like, I'm all out of bubble gum.
That's this game. I don't know if it's going to be an interesting Super Bowl. Like genuinely a very interesting Super Bowl.
Drake May
Drake
versus Sam.
You mean Adam Anna Michael May's husband, Bake May's husband.
My bad.
Yeah, put some respect on her
I
name.
missed the lore update.
Bake May.
I missed the update.
She did the 12 days of Bakemas. Bake May, off of the offensive
The
lineman,
Queen of the North.
Queen of the North,
The Queen of the North.
Bake May. But just looking at these two teams, I like this is going to be a game, like purely a game because the Seahawks are. I'm going to say this. This might be a wild take, probably not, but the Seahawks are probably the most complete team in the NFL.
In the league right now,
like,
yes.
Their offense gets it done. Their defense gets it done. Their only two weaknesses are the fact that they have Sam Darnold at quarterback and their offensive line likes to false start, or at least one of their guards, Anthony Bradford. Just
the big lug, the big boulder.
Anthony Bradford just loves to just false start.
He's just Snorlax, dude.
Exactly. And so, like, I don't know how the Patriots win, but it's definitely with I think one of their pathways involves forcing Sam Darnold to play uncomfortable. And that just
forcing Sam Darnold to throw picks and making sure Christian Gonzalez follows Jackson Smith-Njigba around the entire game, because if he doesn't, you're fucked.
Exactly. Like that if I'm Vrabel in these team meetings these next 2 weeks is Christian, here's your
focus is Jackson Smith-Njigba and making sure Sam Darnold doesn't know what coverage you're in.
Exactly.
Because if you don't have your best corner in Christian Gonzalez, arguably one of the best cornerback in the league right now, on the best wide receiver in the league, you're going to have the worst time of your life. If you don't have safety help over the top, having the worst time of your life. So Cooper Kupp is a little washed, right? But he's still going to be viable as a short check down option.
He'll pick
Marcus
up a few more
yards.
Because Marcus Jones can easily cover that. But
Tyson Campbell could sit on Shaheed because he's quick enough to stay on him. But even then, you can't let Gonzo go to anyone else but JSN. You have to keep him on JSN. And Kenneth Walker. Another thing, your linebackers and your defensive line have to be locked in. I think the Patriots are going to be missing their Harold Landry for the Super Bowl, or he might be coming back. That's up in the air.
Let me check that. But yeah,
and then Joe Milton or whatever his name is, not Joe Milton.
So Landry and Spillane are questionable. Hollins is questionable. Drake May is questionable. That's just purely because the Patriots like to do that, which is just throw their quarterback on the injury report and be like, yeah, he's got a sore shoulder.
Drake May.
But to your point, Gonzo's homework the entire time Vrabel should walk in to the meeting rooms, drop a stack of tape, and your entire job is to watch everything Jackson Smith and Jigba has done since high school, and that's the only person I care about. You cover. If anyone says, "Hey, do you want to switch covers?" You look at me and go, "Eat my shorts." Walk onto that field. Again, number 11 should never leave his sight. You'll probably need to provide some safety help on, because they like to do weird things with it. Like they have him scissor, they have him line up in the slot, and he shoots the outside.
Like I said, you can't have Tyson Campbell on JSN. He's not good enough. Tyson Campbell is just going to get just one or two things going to happen with this matchup: burnt toast or multiple PI calls the entire game. Marcus Jones, Jack Jones, whatever Jones it is nowadays. I couldn't care less.
The Jones brothers.
It don't matter. He's not good enough. I like him. He's not good enough to stick onto JSN like a glove. There's no way. He's fast, but JSN's too shifty, too good, way too. It's insane. And this is why you need to blanket the field, have Gonzo on him. Have your linebackers be on their fucking toes the entire game, looking for the play action or for the play action RPOs and anything involving Kenneth Walker. Because the second Kenneth Walker finds space, it's like a missile. He's He's really fast. And this is where your defensive line comes in with Milton Williams. You need him to wreck the entire middle of the
Exactly.
line.
And
He has to own the trenches. And if you get Harold Landry back this game, that's a huge addition for the Patriots because not only is he their best edge rusher and their best pass rusher, he is also great in the run game. And the Patriots have to lock this in. And another thing, you can only stop so much. You know what I mean? It's like what I'm saying makes it seem like, oh, it's a perfect plan. It's not perfect because stuff happens, because this is exactly what they're thinking on the other side of the ball. That's just the defensive mind. And then you get to the offense. Run the ball.
Just control clock.
Run the ball.
Purely just control clock.
You have Mondre, Henderson, Stephon Diggs, Booty, Pop Douglas, Hunter Henry.
The Patriots should easily, their game plan should be if we need to throw, we're getting Drake May quick, easy completions. Just like 4 or 5 yard checkdowns.
Do slants on this team. It's very unfortunate.
Just quick dumps. Get the ball in hand, and then we're running it. Because this entire playoff run has been because of the Patriots defense purely because, yes, Drake May.
Milton Williams is, in my opinion, has to be up there for Super Bowl MVP.
Exactly. And we've seen the last couple of Super Bowls. The best way to win a Super Bowl is to get pressure on the inside. That's why Milton Williams was the highest paid player in the free agency. That's what the Patriots went out to get him to do. Is not because, they like the name Milton or they saw him.
He was totally fresh off a Super Bowl win.
He absolutely wrecked the Chiefs playing the Super Bowl. That's why he earned that money, because everyone went, well, if you can get pressure with 4 people, which the Patriots absolutely can, because their 2D tackles are amazing, and Barmore and Williams, and then your edge rushers, you have a platoon of edge rushers. Quite literally, your platoon of edge rushers is just awesome. You have Caleb Von Chason, who can get to the quarterback, right? You have Anthony Jennings, who's a good run defender. Harold Landry can get after the quarterback, right? And then you can also send Braden Swinson, the rookie, isn't great, but then again, he might just be the guy that no one has tape on. But you get that. You can also rush with your defenders, but your defensive tackles are where it is. You have Milton Williams, you have Christian Barmore, Corey Durden looked good in limited time. So did Kyrus Tonga. Like, your front set, your linebackers and your defensive tackles, defensive ends are purely where they thrive. Mm-hmm. And then your safeties haven't looked bad. Craig Woodson and Jalen Hawkins hasn't looked bad, and your corners are there. So if you can get pressure with that front 7, force Sam Darnold into his happy feet where he doesn't get his base set and kind of just throws it, you might be able to, do some damage. It's just, can you stop JSN and can you control the clock on offense? Those are the 2 keys: is shut down their number 1 receiver. Because yes, the Seahawks went out and got Rashid Shaheed, but Rashid Shaheed's only fast. He's nothing other than that. He's just a deep threat. And then you have Cooper Kupp, who's a slot receiver, who you have probably the Patriots probably have the best slot corner in the NFL in Marcus Jones. Mm-hmm. So shut down JSN.
That's a good matchup for him. Tyson Campbell's a good matchup for Shaheed. Like I said, Gonzo's got to be on.
Shut down JSN
the entire game.
Control clock. Just shut down JSN and run the ball on offense with quick dink and dunk passes when you need to. Force the Seahawks defense to get tired. And if you're lucky, when they get tired, they'll make mistakes, and you kind of get Tariq Woolen doing what he did against the Rams, almost cost them a Super Bowl appearance where he just starts yapping at the sideline. But I think this is going to be a solid Super Bowl.
Not one a lot of people wanted, but
no, I think it's a better Super Bowl matchup than you could have gotten if you had the Broncos. Because if you had Jared Stidham as a quarterback for the Broncos, going against any of these 2 defenses, it's just bell to ass the minute you step into Santa Clara, just hand the trophy to the NFC. So that's a 56-7 matchup because Jared Stidham can't throw the ball. But if you had Bo Nix, I think you get a tighter matchup because it's battles of the defenses. But still, it's not a fun thing to watch. I think they got the 2 best teams, the most complete team, and then the Patriots. Drake May. Can Drake May do what the last time the Patriots quarterback in their second year made it to a Super Bowl? Can he hoist the trophy? That's my prediction is it's not.
Win again, dude. Like, I'm sorry to say it, but it's okay. So here's something online I keep seeing. The Seattle defense calls himself the dark side.
Mm-hmm. The king of the
The
north.
Seattle fans are like, you guys, the Patriots fans cannot call themselves the evil empire. Here's my rebuttal. The evil empire never dies.
No. Have
Drake May is Kylo Ren.
Bro just came back. Bro just came back. Bro's like, what up? They didn't die. Like, it's
I don't know how. I don't know what. Like, honestly, this Super Bowl, like either matchup, Patriots versus either two of those teams would have been good. But
I think it's a better matchup for the Patriots if they play the Rams, purely because the Patriots receivers would cook that secondary.
Mm-hmm. But this is a good.
This is probably a better matchup overall because of just who they're playing.
If the Patriots win, dude, this is really scary for the rest of the league because their cap space isn't crazy going into this next season.
No, I haven't pulled up. Hold on. The Patriots have $31 million in free cap to spend, so they could just reload. I think they're a proper trade candidate for AJ Brown. Like I think they could just go out and get him because I don't know what Diggs is going to do. I have a feeling if
Diggs is on a 3-year.
Yeah, no, he's on a 1 year. He signed a 1 year, but he signed like a $60 million deal for 1 year. It was something crazy. Hold on, let me get that correctly. But like he signed something crazy because I remember when they signed him, everyone's like, "This is a dumb signing." He's 31, coming off an ACL injury, and you basically gave him fully guaranteed like money, and just like, but you could let Stephon Diggs. Oh no, you're correct. 3 years, $69 million deal. You're right. You were right.
Yeah.
I was wrong. But like, because
you don't even need to get AJ Brown. Honestly, you need to get someone who's gonna open the field up a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like you need someone to.
I think they find that. I think they find that in the draft. Like I think.
Honestly, yeah.
Because
like
where they're picking, they're not going to get. Where they're picking, they're not going to get an edge rusher.
You're last in the round for all your picks, basically.
You're 31, 32, and they're not getting an edge rusher there. That's going to make a difference. I could see them taking the kid out of Tennessee, Chris Brazzell. I don't like the kid out of Louisville, Chris Bell, purely because he just tore his ACL. Like, you could take.
So then Stephon Diggs.
Yeah. Well, Denzel Boston could be the guy from Washington. The sleeper pick that I think they take is Elijah Surratt, the guy from Indiana. Just he's not quick, but he's what is he? 6'2", 209. He could be there at the back half of the draft. He showed flashes of being able to come back and get the ball and fight through the catch point. Like he's a solid receiver the Patriots could pick up. To be number 2, potentially.
Stephon Diggs, you don't even need it's cool having 2 number 2s on your team because they're not going to be bitching and moaning for the ball, but especially after a season like this for Diggs, he barely had over 1,000 yards, and he had little to no touchdowns, honestly, all season. So if you get someone who's like even like putting up the same amount of numbers as him, but like a little more heavy on the scoring, then like you honestly will have they'll be pretty good next year.
Exactly.
But
and then you also have
the Seahawks as well. I don't know how their contracts look, but they'll probably be just as good next year. I know they have Sam Darnold for a while. They're going to have JSN for a little bit more because of his rookie contract.
The Seahawks have the 4th most cap space in the league at 66.
So they're fine
at $66 million. So it'll be okay. They'll be reloaded. And so they'll definitely back. Now they do kind of have an aging roster.
Just a little bit.
DeMarcus Lawrence is 31 or 33.
Yeah, they just signed
Leonard
him
Williams
too,
31. Like, so they do have a little old age, and there's that question of do they trade they like Tariq Woolen, their CB2 is a free agent. Do you re-sign him because of how good he is, or do you move on from him and look at something else? But kind of just back to the Super Bowl matchup. It's going to be a fun Sunday, just purely just to watch the game, no matter who wins. And I'm leaning Seattle. I think Seattle pulls it out. I think
Seattle has a really good chance to win this game.
I think it's 24-21. The one concern, like the one thing I could see happening is just the Sam Darnold doesn't meet the moment, and he's the only weak link. I think he's the only big question mark, not necessarily weak link, but big question mark on this team. Mm-hmm. Does he meet the moment? Can he stay composed? He's looked composed so far, and he's looked really good.
But and before that divisional game, he was on the ball for 2 weeks.
Exactly.
And how many touchdowns did he have again? 4? Something like that. He had multiple throughout passing touchdowns.
It's can he meet the moment? Can the Patriots force him to play fast, play nervous, play whatever? And then on the Patriots side, the question mark is, again, it's
your offense perform.
It's literally the battle of the quarterbacks. Can Drake May go back to MVP caliber, or is it going to be
your offensive line give him
defense
the time?
Line? Yeah, which I think their offensive line can, because it's just like
receivers get open. It's a bunch of ifs right now, but I feel like this game will be pretty good to watch regardless. I think the Pats could win it. I think it's more closer than everyone thinks, but I think my prediction is going to be a little more offensive. I'm not going to lie here. I think it's going to be more 31-34.
I'm going 31-27.
That's not too bad.
I think it's going to be exactly like the NFC Championship game, just barely eked out, because it's going to be a shootout. It's going to come down to the runner-up in the MVP race. And
Sam over-under on the game about to be crazy, honestly.
I had that pulled up. Give me a second. I was looking at that. So the line just moved. It's 4.5, Seattle 4.5, but the over-under is 46.5 points. That's what they suggest the over-under is going to be. I'm taking the over.
What is it?
So the line is currently 4.5. The over and under is 45.5.
Yeah, no, I got way more than that.
I'm hitting the over. I think it's going to hit 50. At minimum, it's going to be 50. At minimum, be 30 to 20, like 30 to 20 at minimum. I'm taking the over instead of 45 points. Like I'm hitting that over.
Yeah,
purely because purely because I think both teams could easily hit 20 points.
Totally based on their offenses.
Like, even if it's 28-21, that's still over 40. Like, I don't know why that line's set at 45.5, but leaving the Super Bowl, we have to talk about the last championship we just watched.
The Natty.
Congratulations to the Indiana Hoosiers.
Hoosiers! Big Ten still runs this shit. 3 championships in a row. Get fucked, SEC. Miami. They're
going.
I have to give them a round of applause. They got more than 13 points.
They're dead, and they're gonna be back next year. They got a new quarterback and whatnot. But
I am actually shocked it was that close. And honestly, for the better.
Better. You don't want to blow out. But back to your point of the Big Ten took the SEC. The North, the Yankees strike again.
South is seething, dude. They're going to break off from the Union again.
Well, that's what happens when you can legally pay players now.
Get fucked, Bama.
But, it was, that game was, what, 10-0 at half? A
tight one. Carson Beck, you will not be starting in the NFL. You are fucking terrible. Honestly, good for Fernando Mendoza. That's going to be huge for his draft stock. Any team that wants him is going to kill their entire bloodline for him.
Exactly.
Especially after he dove for that ball, for the touchdown and going into the end zone. But yeah, that was a really good game. Everyone who's on those teams that are going to the draft looked really good. Unless your name is Carson Beck.
Unless your name is Carson Beck. Carson Beck's hitting a different draft. It's going on a different site.
He's taking his talents to South Beach and keeping them there
He's staying at
with
South Beach.
his girlfriends or whatever the hell you call that thing.
It's just
Do you pay for one of those these days?
I have no idea. It's Carson Beck. But like, yeah,
Sid the Sloth.
Sid the Sloth. This game was actually fairly entertaining. You know, it looked like a dud in the first half with 10 to nothing at halftime. I went, oh, it's going to be a 13-3 national championship game because, you know, it's Indiana and they're just going to like bludgeon you.
They're just going to bleed it out. It's going to be like the
Rams
Pat Super Bowl.
It's like you come out in the third quarter, Indiana blocks a punt for a touchdown, 17-0, and you're like, oh crap, this game's getting out of hand. Miami scores, and then Miami comes out, they score quickly on a Mark Fletcher touchdown, blocked punt then, 17-7. You're like, ooh. Then Miami outscored Indiana that entire second half, 21-17. Lost by 6. Like, that game was insane. Indiana finished undefeated, probably will come out, first national championship in college history. Like, Indiana.
I don't mind that. I just had to plug in my desk again and unplug something.
Kinks are worked out. We promise. We're professionals. But like, that was just and I watched this. I didn't get to watch the first half, but I watched the second half, and it was just like, you know, I want to highlight an underrated guy on Indiana who I think could be potentially a stud going forward for whatever team gets him. He's a sophomore, so he's got a couple more years left. Charlie Becker, 6'4", 204 wide receiver. Now he's probably going to end up playing tight end in the NFL.
More than likely.
But he was on Indiana basically when Cignetti got there. He originally joined Indiana. Cignetti got there and went, hey, all you wide receivers leave. I'm bringing on my guys. And Becker went, watch me. And then proceeded to have the second most receiving yards in the game behind Omar Cooper with 4 catches for 65 yards, including a stellar, just like Mendoza just underthrew the ball and he just fought back to the catch point and fell back and caught it. Like, he was an under, like, the key moments they made, he looked pretty good. But
I feel like football's in safe hands for the next 10 years. A lot of good talent.
Yeah, you're going to get – there's going to be a lot of guys coming through. But, you know, probably one of the better national championships we've seen in the last couple of years. I thought last year's was really good. Michigan's one was just like you kind of knew they were going to win it all.
The second half really got out of hand.
Exactly.
So you want to talk about second halves that get out of hand, Chris? That's one of them. Washington was in that game late, like a little past halfway into the third quarter. Excuse me. And then Michael Penix throws an absolute awful pick to Sandersell, and
he still got drafted.
And Michigan runs the ball with either Blake Corum or Donovan Edwards, and they just absolutely dominated with the run that game. So that got really ugly quick. And it was Texas, Ohio State last year, right?
It was Ohio State, Notre Dame.
Right. And that was a pretty good. Speaking of college football, that was probably the best introduction to the new playoff system they added
ever.
That's such good games last.
Well, because you figured out. So last year you figured out the big hiccups, which is you cannot give automatic bids to 1, 2, 3, and 4 because Oregon was the 1 seed, just the best team in the nation, and they had to play Ohio State in their first game. So they figured that out.
My biggest pet peeve with everything is just like, why was Tulane and James Madison in the playoffs?
Yeah. I think that they kind of figured out where they're just going to give one spot to the group of 5. The highest ranked champion out of all the group 5 champions is going to get in, which I just threw apart my desk, which is kind of, I agree with. I think you kind of have to give them in because otherwise
What's the title of this one? The kinks are still kinking.
kinks are still kinking.
I'm literally like getting up from my chair, looking around like I just reattached to my head. Your desk is falling apart like a Lego set.
The kink is kinking. Like, but I like the idea of they give it to the champion for the group of 5 because you kind of have to include them. Otherwise, just kick them to FCS and just tell them screw you, go to FCS,
or just tell them to join a conference.
They are in conference. Like
Notre Dame.
Well, yeah, it's Notre Dame. Notre Dame's automatically in. Did you see that? They're like, yeah, we're automatically in if we're ranked in the top 12. Why? You should not be automatic. You should not be automatically in if you're
SEC or ACC. You pick one. You can't play all 3 of us every fucking year.
Go to a conference for Notre Dame. Don't give them an automatic spot. Look at Notre Dame and go, we get it. You're a college football blue blood. We understand. We'll give you reverence. We get you're going to be, but guarantee them a spot in the top if they land in the 12th. It'd be hilarious if next year they finish 13th. Like they finished one spot out because they like this year. The reason they're not in now, they probably should have been in over James Madison or in Tulane, but like. The reason they fell is because they lost to Miami, the team that was in the national championship game. So, like, but just that panhandling to Notre Dame, and it might just because I don't watch a lot of college football. I never got like the big thing with Notre Dame. They were big in the 80s and 90s, but they were never like to me. They were never.
That's it. That's the thing. Like, so of college ball, since I'll spit some knowledge to any college football is culture. It's American culture. So like the supers like they have in like soccer in like Europe is like picture that at college football. That's basically what it is. Like a lot of clubs and like, like the Prem and whatnot don't have a lot of Prem championships and haven't won in a while. That's basically what college football is. It's like you have a lot of like Penn State's a good example. Nebraska's a really good example. They were dominant in the 80s and 90s. Michigan State's a really good example. Same thing with Notre Dame. Really good back in like the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, early 2010s. Like it's just history, culture, and like basically college is just culture because of the Greek life, but that's basically what it is. It's just culture. And that's why like Notre Dame, Michigan State, like not really Michigan State so much anymore, but Nebraska, USC just started picking it back up. Like schools like that, basically, like any teams are like dominant in early 2000s. Like it's just like stuff like that. That's why like college ball is like Notre Dame gets called just because of their history and whatnot. That it's like nepotism at that point. Because it's like a different era of your program is the reason why you're getting babied now, like 40 years later.
Exactly. And because you have some history.
I also love college football so much. And
it might just because growing up in New England, growing up in the 2000s in New England, we had the Patriots just be stellar. So you didn't really have and plus the college football programs around here are UMass suck.
BC, not
big old
that
bag
good.
of suck.
Not
BC,
that good.
BC, a smaller bag of suck. UConn, basketball.
Ass.
Like, right? Like,
yes. You want to do that route? BC hockey, basketballs, Providence, and UConn, and
but like, there's no good.
That's it.
There's no good college football program, so naturally, like. Most people in New England tend to either be a Michigan fan because of Tom Brady or an Ohio State fan because they're dumb. But like,
my co-host said it, not me.
Why would you ever be Why would you ever be an Ohio State fan? Why? Exactly.
What the fuck is an Ohio?
What is a Buckeye? Someone explain to me. It's a seed. It's a nut.
It's a tree nut.
Well, welcome. I'm the Ohio State nuts.
Yeah, dude, I'm a nut. I'm the Ohio State nut. Damn right they are nutty.
Ohio State nut.
I will give them it. I will say that's another thing. College fans, a lot of passion.
Like it's all culture, and I love it. And I kind of wanted my goal for this upcoming season to get more into college football, mainly for the scouting thing, because I love the draft. That's.
Oh, you can be a UNC fan. You can keep up with Bill.
Oh God, I don't know. No.
They'll fit the Panthers theme.
We're gonna get to Bill Belichick in a second, but
Right,
Like,
right.
well, anyway, but the college, yeah, I think the college football is in decent hands. They're seeming to start to figure stuff out. They figure out the transfer portal, and NIL did.
Once Ohio State starts falling off the same way Bama
They
did,
hired
like
Arthur Smith. They hired Arthur Smith at OC. Jeremiah Smith is not catching a pass next year because they're just going to run the ball because it's Arthur Smith who sucks at calling an offense. I watched him with the Falcons for 3 years. He had Kyle Pitts, top 10 draft pick tight end, probably a really good athletic tight end, Bijan Robinson, Drake London. He had these 3 guys, and he went, I don't know how to use Bijan. This guy.
So that means they're going to throw the ball in when they play Michigan.
Yeah, well, because Bijan, like he didn't know how to use Bijan. So why do you think he's going to know how to use anyone at Ohio State? He didn't know how to use Drake London. Drake London had 1,000 yards because Drake London's good, but like,
we could segue this into
anyway.
Into Bill.
Going back to Bill, as we kind of wrap things up here. The Hall of Fame's a lie. Everything's a lie. Doesn't matter what.
How are you going to let the dude who was crying about the Flakegate? By the way, a game won when the Pats dominated by running the ball all over your team.
Exactly.
Who has more drugs in him than the cartel gives out? How are you going to let him have a say in any of this?
Yeah, because
he's 80 years old.
They blamed him. So the reason
Robert McAfee got into it, they ripped him. They got him on the show. They ripped him today.
Exactly. And like, so
he said, I'm 90% sure I voted for Bill. How are you not? Dude,
are you
that's
90%
like saying,
sure?
like, I'm 90% sure I voted for a Republican or a Democrat in the presidential election. Oh, I was 90% sure I voted Democrat this year. Like, that's stupid.
So
that is stupid.
The guy what happened was they were holding things against Robert Kraft for a while. They were holding Spygate. That's why Robert Kraft was never in. Is in now. Is probably going to get in now, but wasn't in earlier when he should have been earlier, just for being an owner. So the guy they had basically said, he's like, I had nothing to do with the snub. I'm pretty sure I voted for Bill Belichick. I would never let that columnist. And then someone asked him, well, are you sure you voted for Bill Belichick? And he goes, I had no idea if I actively voted for Bill. So I get it. You're going to ding him for Spygate, ding him for the cheating, but he still should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Not all of you need to vote for him, but there's no way they need to fix the way they do Hall of Fame voting. Like, you can have ballots. I don't mind ballots, but there are certain guys you should not, like, you should look at and go, we don't need to vote on. Like Tom Brady, you don't need to vote. You know he's
getting Tom Brady.
It's Tom Brady.
Bill Belichick has 333 wins. Is the second most as a head coach in NFL history.
He's the most accomplished head coach in NFL history.
Dude, that's if Bill Belichick's on the first ballot Hall of Famer because we want to throw in a bunch of people who've been waiting too long because their careers weren't that good. Then Tom Brady
it's Jordan Hudson's fault.
And then Tom Brady can't be a first ballot Hall of Famer if that's the case. Eli Manning's been retired, and personally, I think Eli Manning should be in the Hall of Fame just because he was a clutch quarterback, even though he's a derp.
Exactly. If Bill Belichick is not a first ballot Hall of Famer, Tom Brady should not be one. Based on basically what we're assuming the voting block for the Hall of Fame is they're holding the cheating scandals against Bill and the most accomplished. So if you're going to hold Bill accountable,
you got to hold Brady.
So if they held Robert, then if they held Bill, then they have to hold Brady. Are you not going to let Tom Brady in, the greatest quarterback of all time? You're not going to make a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Do you know the outrage? I know a lot of people still don't like him just because of his NFL career. If you don't let this man into the first ballot Hall of Famer, the football community's gonna have like a riot.
They didn't vote for Bill Belichick because he was mean to the media. Like, he's the most accomplished. You don't need to agree.
As outside of football, you don't have to give anyone your words. It's your right. You can ask him all the questions you want. Dude, Marshawn Lynch. What about Marshawn Lynch? He got fined.
I'm here so I don't get fined.
I'm here so I just don't get fined. You don't have to speak to
Greatest
them. I don't
bar.
care if you're under contract with the league or not. Like, because obviously Bill Belichick wasn't under contract with the league because he never got fined for what he said to the media. If you're gonna hold that against him, then you're soft. It's soft.
And it's
This
that
is football,
to the
not
point where
fucking baseball. No offense to the baseball fans, because we will end up talking about baseball when it's baseball season, especially like after football is done.
The Hall of Fame for baseball is just corrupt. That's it. Like, but to the point where
Bonds, I know he's a juice head, but how the fuck is Barry Bonds not in the Hall of Fame?
Exactly. Stop holding this like
and the dude on the Reds, dude who played for the Reds too.
Is it? But like, fine, okay, they did some horrible thing. Pete Rose bet on baseball games and threw baseball games. Barry Bonds decided to shoot stuff in his butt. Okay, fine. We'll hold him out for a year. There's no excuse other than, well, Bill Belichick oversaw Spygate or oversaw Deflategate. Like, to the point where the Pro Football Hall of Fame themselves released a statement saying the Pro Football Hall of Fame understands and respects the passionate reaction of many fans, media members, and enshrines of the hall itself in the light of published reports regarding voting results for the class of 2026. It's the very passionate, like,
this year.
They basically came out and went, yeah, we stand by the selections. But they need to figure, but they also threatened, the one good thing is they did threaten to remove the members of the committee. They said, each year the Hall reviews the selection process and the composition of the 50-person selection committee. If it's determined that any member or members violate the selection process bylaws, they understand action will be taken. This could include possibly that such selector would not remain a member of the committee. But you've already done a massive disservice and basically not letting the most accomplished coach, in my mind, the greatest coach ever, to enter the Hall of Fame. By their standards, Tom Brady should not be a first ballot Hall of Fame. Now, this isn't the first time we've seen it, because I'm going to get on my high horse for a minute, because I think this is an injustice.
Luke Kuechly's a nominee this year.
No. I'm about to get to that. This goes to my injustice. How is Luke Kuechly not a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Short career. That's the only reason why.
That's the only reason. But they let Brian Urlacher in. They let Patrick Willis, who had the same length of career Luke Kuechly did, and Patrick Willis got in on the first ballot.
Megatron as well.
Kuechly was probably one of the, if not the greatest middle linebacker of the 2010s.
Him and Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner 100%, but they were really good at two different things. Bobby Wagner was really good at the more physical aspect of the game.
Kuechly just knew what you were doing. Kuechly was like, you're running that play.
He went to BC High. He
went to BC. Like, and so I think Kuechly's going to get into it. But we've seen this minute where there's some decisions they make that scratch their head. I don't know. Is Tom Brady up on this ballot?
No.
He's next year, right?
You have to, next year.
5 years. Yeah.
Drew Brees is on it this year.
Drew Brees should be a first ballot, no doubt. He's got every stat.
Okay. But exactly why Bill needs to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. If you want to go off of stats,
it's Bill Belichick.
You have to, for coaches, you have to go off of wins.
Yeah.
And accomplishments.
He's the most 6 Super Bowls. He's got 8 Super Bowls.
Head coaches. You want to know why he doesn't have many head coaches of the year? Because the head coach of the year is like turning a team around, basically.
That year, it's the same reason.
Have always been good with Bill Belichick there, maybe besides the 2002 season after they won the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Maybe besides that season.
It's quite literally, it's the same thing of the reason he doesn't have that many coach of the years is because he was always constantly great. And voter fatigue, I believe, is a true thing, right? Voters, if you're key at the top, they're going to get tired of you. But it's the same reason why Brady didn't
Tom Brady.
There's the same reason Brady didn't win MVP every year, because there's a better quarterback. But when the
stats-wise
shit hit the fan, Brady was always the one who came out on top, because he was just better. But it's like, statistically, that season, Aaron Rodgers was the better quarterback. Yeah, statistically, Aaron Rodgers was the better quarterback. I don't think anyone ever thinks Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Brady.
No.
He might be a more athletic one, but he's not.
I hated that take back in like 2016. That Drew Brees Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback of all time.
I had this take of
Aaron Rodgers is probably one of the most talented quarterbacks of all time. He's the first ballot Hall of Famer. The same way Drew Brees is, the same way Peyton Manning is. But if we want to be so dead ass, Tom Brady should be in the Hall of Fame the second he won that fucking 7th ring. The second he won the game against against the Falcons. Because I remember when they won that game and they're handing him a trophy, Terry Bradshaw or whoever handed him a trophy goes, "You're the GOAT."
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
the
Like
moment Tom Brady is a first ballot Hall of Famer and why he's the greatest quarterback of
the
all
minute
time.
he won
You
his
had
fourth title, you were like, yeah, hey, the 20-3 game, the 20-3 game basically went, yeah, you're first ballot Hall of Famer.
like literally just cherry on top to everything. And when the dude who has 4 Super Bowl trophies himself goes, "You're the GOAT." And I know it was back in like the 70s, 80s with the Steelers, but it's still 4 Super Bowl rings. Exactly. I know I'm not a Steelers fan, but I'm a Tom Brady fan more than anything. So Tom Brady, greatest quarterback of all time, has to be first ballot Hall of Famer. If you're going to hold the cheating scandals against him, get that shit out of my face. Because the cheating scandal with the whole Deflategate got debunked by a bunch of middle schoolers like me in Massachusetts in my 8th grade science class. Because weather conditions, it was snowing, raining, and it was under 32 degrees the entire night.
Exactly. Like, it's just they need to figure out a way, and it's past, and it's gonna anger everyone.
When they were gonna suspend Brady the next year, the NFL lost the case because they threw it out the window. They go, "This is ridiculous."
And so
they brought it to another court the next year, and then I have no idea how they're like, okay,
because what probably happened is the original court went, yeah, you're wrong, we're throwing this out. They went to the second court, and the second court went, yeah, I agree with the first court's ruling. The NFL went, well, we're going to keep appealing until you give us rulings. Like, fine, here's 4 games. They're like, here's 4 games, and Brady went, great, cool, and won a Super Bowl anyway. But leaving
and here's my whole like scab with scab reopening with the whole 4-game suspension thing.
It didn't.
People have gotten suspended for beating up their wife, drag racing, having getting arrested for like the most heinous shit. Ezekiel Elliott's a good example. When he was on the Cowboys, he hit his girlfriend, had a domestic violence case, and got suspended for like 4 to 5 games. How the fuck are you going to give someone for deflating a football
the same amount you give domestic
4
abusers?
Games. Exactly.
Like, it's just
they gave Ray Rice 5 games because of that fucking elevator footage.
There's clear and open evidence of him beating a woman, and they went, here's 5 games. Rasheed Rice, 6 games for almost killing people,
and then running away from the scene.
Like, what? Anyway, we're gonna leave that there. As you know, we're running out of time. We'll probably pick it up next show, but
Bill Belichick,
Bill Belichick Snub, first ballot Hall of Famer in the heart.
Hall of Famer in the hearts of the people.
Heart. Man,
you don't gotta like the guy. All slander aside, especially after Brady left, he's the greatest coach of all time.
He is.
It's not even close.
You may not like that he's dating someone my age, but like, you know what?
Don Shula's really good, but he doesn't have as many Super Bowl wins as Bill fucking Belichick.
Exactly.
And I don't say Bill fucking Belichick. I use that for Brady. But oh my gosh, man! This is another little thing about nerds and their analytics and how modern day sports fans are gonna kill sports.
Exactly. It's just anyway. So I think we're gonna leave that there. Kind of take our chill pills.
Chill pill.
Take the chill pill. Take a walk. Go for a walk. But. You know, in summation, the Super Bowl is this week. Coaching Carousel, 2 openings left. And
Super Bowl is in 2 weeks.
Super Bowl is in 2 weeks. So
Pro Bowl is this week, but no one cares.
No one cares about the Pro Bowl. The next time you hear from us will be post Super Bowl. As we'll probably we'll talk about the Super Bowl, preview the offseason, and get going. Anyway, well, Mr. Foote, thank you for joining me this week. Have a good day. Have a good show, and everyone else, thank you for tuning in and watching.
I love you guys. Go Pats. I'm rooting for the Pats this Super Bowl. Drake May.
Drake, the king of the North.
And king of the North.
All right.
All right.